Chosen one, listen carefully. You feel it, don't you? The pressure, the silence, the strange weight of this season. You thought it was just another battle, another delay, another closed door. But this is different. You have no idea what's coming next. I have watched you cry in rooms no one else saw. I have heard the prayers you were too tired to finish. When they walked away, I stayed. When they doubted you, I marked you. You thought you were being attacked because you were weak. No, you were attacked because you are chosen. The warfare increased because your breakthrough is closer than ever. The pressure intensified because this is the final step. Do not mistake the shaking for abandonment. I am aligning things you cannot see. I am removing what cannot go where you're going. Hold your position, stand still, because what's about to happen next will change everything. The rejection you endured was not abandonment. It was redirection. You thought they left because you weren't enough. You thought the door closed because you failed. You thought the silence meant I had stepped away. But I was there. I was the one who didn't allow it to work. Chosen one, if they had accepted you, they would have confined you. If they had celebrated you too early, they would have defined you by a smaller version of yourself. If that opportunity had opened, it would have trapped you in a destiny beneath what I wrote for you. You call it rejection. I call it rescue. You were crying over people I was protecting you from. You were begging to stay in places that could not sustain your calling. You were fighting to hold hands that would have let go when the weight of your anointing became too heavy. I saw what you couldn't see. I saw the conversations behind closed doors. I saw the jealousy masked as friendship. I saw the limitations hidden inside that perfect opportunity. And because you are chosen, I intervened. Yes, it hurt. It hurt when they overlooked you. It hurt when your name wasn't mentioned. It hurt when you gave your best and still were not chosen. But listen to me carefully. You were not rejected. You were redirected. I needed you free. Free from environments that shrink vision. Free from relationships that compete with your light. Free from systems that reward conformity over calling. The pain was not proof that I left you. It was proof that I love you too much to let you settle. You keep asking, why wasn't I enough? You were too much. Too much purpose, too much depth, too much destiny to fit inside spaces built for average expectations. They didn't reject you because you were lacking. They rejected you because they could not carry what you carry. And I refuse to let my chosen ones tie their future to people who are intimidated by their potential. Every closed door shifted your direction. Every no moved you closer to a divine yes. Every betrayal detached you from distractions. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Right now, you stand in a space that feels empty, but this emptiness is sacred ground. It is the corridor between who you were and who you are becoming. I removed what was familiar so you could walk into what is ordained. One day, you will look back at the moment that broke your heart, and you will thank me. Because if they had stayed, you would have shrunk. If that door had opened, you would have settled. If they had chosen you, you would have missed the path I carved specifically for you. Lift your head. You were never abandoned. You were escorted. Escorted out of limitation. Escorted out of smallness. Escorted into destiny. Trust the redirection. It is leading you somewhere far greater than what rejected you. The isolation you're in right now, it was never punishment. It was preparation. You thought I removed people because you failed. You thought the silence meant you were forgotten. You thought the empty room was proof that you were losing everything. But I was building you. Chosen one. I could not train you in the noise. I could not shape your spirit in constant validation. I could not prepare you for destiny while you were still addicted to applause. So I allowed the crowd to fade. Not to break you, but to strengthen you in secret. You call it loneliness. I call it consecration. In the quiet nights when no one checked on you, I was there. In the moments when your phone didn't ring, I was speaking. In the season when invitations stopped, I was investing in you. Because the calling on your life is heavy, and what you are about to carry cannot be sustained by shallow roots. Isolation deepened your roots. It forced you to sit with yourself, to confront your fears, to wrestle with doubt without distraction, to find your identity without someone else's opinion defining it. Do you know why the warfare increased when you were alone? Because hell attacks in private what heaven is promoting in public. The enemy hoped the silence would convince you that you were invisible. But what he didn't understand is that I do my finest work in hidden places. Before elevation, there is enclosure. Before recognition, there is refinement. Before destiny unfolds, there is development. I was strengthening your mind. I was stabilizing your emotions. I was teaching you to hear my voice without interference. Yes, it hurt watching others gather while you stood alone. Yes, it stung seeing doors open for them while yours remained closed. Yes, you questioned whether you were falling behind. But you were not behind. You were being built. You were in spiritual training. Muscles grow under resistance. Faith grows in silence. Authority grows when no one is watching. I was teaching you discipline. I was teaching you discernment. I was teaching you how to stand without leaning on unstable support. If I had elevated you before isolating you, the pressure would have crushed you. If I had exposed you before strengthening you, criticism would have destroyed you. So I hid you, not because you were unworthy, but because you are valuable. Precious things are refined in private. Powerful leaders are formed in hidden places. Chosen ones are strengthened away from the spotlight. This season is not your burial. It is your boot camp. And when I bring you out of this isolation, you will not need constant reassurance. You will not beg for acceptance. You will not shrink to stay connected. You will walk with quiet authority, with unshakable confidence, with a strength that was forged in silence. The isolation was never your end. It was your strengthening ground. And soon, what I built in secret will be revealed in power. The warfare did not intensify because you are losing. It intensified because you are close. Chosen one, hear me clearly. The resistance you feel is not random. The sudden attacks, the strange opposition, the waves of doubt that came out of nowhere, the fatigue that doesn't make sense. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. The enemy does not waste energy on those who are not a threat. He does not fight what is not advancing. He does not surround what is not about to break through. The pressure increased because you are approaching something you prayed for. You thought you were falling apart. but in the spirit you were moving forward. Do you remember when it was quiet, when nothing seemed to shift, when life felt almost still? The warfare was light then, but now, the closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder the battle becomes. That is not a sign to retreat. That is a sign to stand. The enemy can sense what you cannot yet see. He feels the shift before you recognize it. He knows when doors are about to open. He knows when chains are about to break. So he increases pressure, hoping you will quit one step before the miracle. He whispers, "It's not working." He whispers, "You're exhausted." He whispers, "Give up." But if you were truly defeated, there would be no need for such intense opposition. Listen carefully. Storms do not gather around empty ground. They gather where something powerful is about to be released. Your mind has been attacked because clarity is coming. Your peace has been challenged because authority is forming. Your faith has been tested because elevation is near. I allowed the battle not to destroy you, but to strengthen your stance. You are learning how to fight without fear. You are learning how to pray without panic. You are learning how to stand when everything around you shakes. This warfare is proof that you are not average. It is proof that your destiny carries weight. It is proof that your next level threatens darkness. If there was nothing valuable ahead, the enemy would not bother blocking your path. But something is shifting. The ground beneath you is cracking. Barriers you cannot see are weakening. Alignments are taking place beyond your awareness. And the enemy knows his time in your life is limited. So he makes noise. He creates confusion. He applies pressure. Because his greatest strategy is discouragement right before deliverance. Chosen one, do not misinterpret the battle. You are not under attack because you are failing. You are under attack because you are advancing. Hold your position. Breathe through the pressure. Pray through the fatigue. Stand through the shaking. Because when the warfare reaches its peak, breakthrough is at the door. And you are closer than you think. What tried to break you was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to reveal you. Chosen one, you thought the pressure meant you were fragile. You thought the betrayal meant you were foolish. You thought the heartbreak meant you were unworthy. But I allowed the shaking to show you who you really are. Gold does not shine until it enters fire. Strength does not appear until it meets resistance. Calling does not surface until it is challenged. You were not breaking. You were being uncovered. Do you remember the moment you thought you wouldn't survive it? When your chest felt heavy, when sleep escaped you, when you questioned your purpose. That was the moment your true capacity began to rise. Because before the storm, you didn't know how strong your faith was. Before the loss, you didn't know how deep your endurance ran. Before the rejection, you didn't know how independent your spirit could become. The very thing that tried to crush you forced you to discover authority you didn't know you had. You found your voice in the silence. You found your resilience in the pain. You found your discernment through betrayal, and now you see clearly. The attack exposed your assignment. You are called to heal because you were wounded. You are called to lead because you were overlooked. You are called to strengthen others because you learned how to stand alone. The breaking point revealed the blueprint. Had everything gone smoothly, You would never have searched deeper. Had life been easy, you would never have depended on me the way you do now. Had they stayed loyal, you would never have learned how to walk without approval. The pressure shaped your perspective. The pain sharpened your insight. The loss purified your motives. You are not who you were before the storm. You are wiser. You are steadier. You are harder to manipulate. You are harder to intimidate. What tried to break you ended up building you. The enemy thought if he attacked your confidence, you would shrink. Instead, you grew roots. He thought if he isolated you, you would collapse. Instead, you matured. He thought if he wounded your heart, you would close it forever. Instead, you developed compassion and strength. Chosen one, your calling was hidden inside your crisis. The struggle revealed your leadership. The pain revealed your empathy. The battle revealed your authority. You survived what was meant to silence you. And because you survived, you now carry credibility. You carry testimony. You carry weight. Nothing about your suffering was wasted. It carved out space inside you for greater purpose. So stop seeing yourself as someone who almost broke. See yourself as someone who was revealed. The fire did not consume you. It introduced you to who you were always meant to become. The silence you feared was never my absence. It was alignment. Chosen one. I saw the confusion in your eyes. I heard the tremble in your prayers. You kept asking, why aren't you answering? You kept wondering if I had turned away. But I was closer than ever. Silence does not mean abandonment, it means orchestration. While you were waiting for a voice, I was moving pieces. While you were watching the clock, I was adjusting timelines. While you were questioning your worth, I was protecting your future. If I had answered too quickly, you would have stepped into something premature. If I had spoken too soon, you would have interrupted the process. You call it delay. I call it divine synchronization. There were conversations happening you couldn't hear, hearts shifting you couldn't see, doors unlocking in places you've never been. Heaven was not quiet because nothing was happening. Heaven was quiet because everything was happening. Alignment requires precision. One person had to exit. Another had to grow. An opportunity had to mature. Your character had to strengthen. Your discernment had to sharpen. Had I spoken before alignment was complete, you would have rushed ahead and disrupted the miracle. I needed your trust more than your understanding. Silence stretches faith. Silence deepens roots. Silence teaches you to rely on who I am, not just what I say. You felt forgotten. But I was fine-tuning your path. Like an architect adjusting a blueprint, like a conductor preparing an orchestra, like a strategist positioning pieces before the final move, I was aligning everything with precision. The silence wasn't empty. It was sacred. It was the space where doubt wrestled with belief, where impatience battled trust, where your spirit learned to stand without constant reassurance. You thought I wasn't responding. But I was responding in realms you cannot see. Protection often looks like silence. Preparation often feels like stillness. If you had received what you asked for in that moment, it would have crushed you. If you had stepped into that door then, it would have misaligned your destiny. So I waited, not because I forgot you, but because I was aligning timing, people, provision, and purpose. Chosen one, trust this. When heaven is silent, it is not empty. It is intentional. The breakthrough you seek requires everything to click into place at once. And I refuse to give you something incomplete. You are not overlooked. You are being positioned. Soon, what felt like silence will reveal itself as strategy, and you will understand that I was never absent. I was aligning your life with destiny. Every tear you cried in secret, I saw it. Every night you turned your face into the pillow, so no one would hear you break. I was there. Chosen one. You thought those tears were weakness. You thought they were proof that you were losing. You thought because no one else witnessed them, they didn't matter. But heaven counts what the world ignores. Not one tear fell without purpose. Not one sob escaped your chest without being recorded. Not one silent cry was wasted in the dark. You cried when they misunderstood you. You cried when you gave your best and it wasn't enough. You cried when doors shut without explanation. You cried when you felt strong for everyone else, but fragile within yourself. And you wondered, what is the point of this pain? The point was shaping. The tears were not evidence of defeat. They were evidence of depth. Only those with great destiny feel deeply. Only those assigned to heal others know what it means to hurt quietly. Only those marked for impact endure battles that seem unfair. Your hidden tears became sacred seeds. Each one watered resilience. Each one strengthened compassion. Each one expanded your capacity to carry others when your time comes. You think destiny is built on applause and celebration. No. Destiny is built in private moments of surrender, in whispered prayers when your voice trembles, in brokenness that refuses to turn bitter. While you were crying, you were transforming. Your tears washed away pride. They washed away dependence on approval. They washed away illusions about who would stay. Pain refined your motives. Loss purified your heart. Disappointment matured your spirit. You did not just cry, you grew, and I stored every tear as evidence. Evidence that you didn't quit. Evidence that you kept believing when it hurt. Evidence that you chose faith over bitterness. One day, the same place that witnessed your tears will witness your elevation. The same eyes that once filled with sorrow will shine with authority. Because tears are not signs of weakness in my kingdom. They are proof of endurance. You didn't numb yourself. You didn't harden your heart. You didn't turn cold. You felt the pain and you still trusted me. That is strength. The world may never know how much you endured in silence. They may only see the confidence, the leadership, the grace. But I know the cost. And because I know the cost, I have prepared a reward that matches the sacrifice. Every hidden tear has weight. Every private breakdown has meaning. Every lonely night has purpose attached to it. You are not behind because you cried. You are qualified because you endured. Your tears were not stains on your story. They were signatures of your destiny. And soon, what once fell from your eyes in sorrow will rise before you as proof that nothing you suffered was ever wasted. You think you survived because you were strong, but there were battles around you you never even saw. Chosen one, while you were sleeping, I was shielding. While you were unaware, I was intercepting. While you were confused about delays, I was blocking dangers. You only see the attacks that reached you. You have no idea how many were stopped before they touched your life. There were plans spoken in rooms you never entered. There were traps set on paths you almost walked down. There were alliances forming that would have destroyed your peace, and I dismantled them quietly. You wondered why certain relationships ended suddenly. You questioned why some opportunities fell apart at the last second. You felt frustrated when things didn't move the way you expected. You called it disappointment. I called it protection. There were people smiling at you who did not celebrate you. There were hands extended that carried hidden motives. There were environments that looked promising but carried poison beneath the surface. If I had allowed everything you asked for, you would have walked straight into warfare. You were not assigned to fight. So I closed doors without explanation. I created distance without warning. I shifted timelines without your permission, not to confuse you, but to cover you. You cannot imagine the accidents that didn't happen, the betrayals that never fully formed, the spiritual attacks that dissolved before impact. You felt pressure, yes, but you did not feel the full force of what was aimed at you, because I stood between you and destruction. There were moments when your mind felt heavy, but it could have been darker. There were days when finances felt tight, but it could have been collapse. There were conflicts that rose, but they could have become devastation. I reduced what was meant to overwhelm you. The enemy wanted elimination. I allowed education. The enemy wanted your downfall. I used the situation for your development. Protection does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a delay. Sometimes it looks like a breakup. Sometimes it looks like rejection. But what you call inconvenience was often intervention. You are still here, still standing, still breathing, still believing. That is not luck. That is covering. You are marked, chosen, assigned. And what carries purpose also carries protection. You may never fully know how many unseen battles were fought on your behalf. But understand this. If it reached you, it was filtered. If it touched you, it was limited. If it shook you, it was permitted only to strengthen you. Nothing was allowed to destroy you, because your destiny is guarded. And the same unseen hand that protected you then is protecting you now, guiding you forward into a future that no hidden attack will be able to stop. This pressure you feel right now, it is not random. It is not punishment. It is not proof that you are failing. It is labor. Chosen one, this is the final season before the promise breaks through. You keep asking why it suddenly feels heavier, why responsibilities increased, why emotions feel stretched, why resistance seems stronger than ever. Because something is about to be born. Birth does not happen in comfort. It happens in intensity. It happens in stretching. It happens when everything feels like it's about to break. But breaking is not the end. It is the transition. You feel squeezed because your capacity is expanding. You feel overwhelmed because your old version cannot carry where you are going. You feel pressure because the promise inside you is pushing outward. For years you prayed, you believed, you endured, you survived. Now the season has shifted. What was once planted in faith is now ready to emerge in reality. But before manifestation, there is compression. Before elevation, there is weight. Before promise, there is pressure. You think this intensity means something is wrong. No, it means something is ready. The enemy is loud because he senses the shift. Circumstances feel unstable because transition is happening. Old supports are falling away because they cannot enter your next level. This is not destruction. This is delivery. I am stretching your patience. I am strengthening your endurance. I am enlarging your vision. Because what is coming cannot fit inside the version of you that existed before this pressure. You are being expanded. The sleepless nights, expansion. The uncomfortable growth, expansion. The hard conversations, expansion. The moments when you almost wanted to quit. Proof that the process is working. Labor is painful, but it has purpose. You are not dying in this season. You are birthing. Birthing new confidence, birthing clarity, birthing authority, birthing the visible evidence of what you've carried invisibly for so long. Do not retreat now. Do not interpret discomfort as defeat. This is the final stretch. The reason it feels heavier is because you are closer than ever. The reason it feels urgent is because timing is aligning. The reason it feels intense is because breakthrough is imminent. I would not bring you this far to abandon you at the edge. You were built for this delivery. You were strengthened for this moment. You were chosen for this promise. Breathe through the pressure. Stand through the shaking. Trust through the stretching. Because soon, what feels like unbearable weight will turn into undeniable evidence. And you will realize that this final season of pressure was never meant to crush you. It was meant to bring your promise to life. Listen, something is starting to make sense now, isn't it? All the pain, all the waiting, all the nights you asked, "Why me?" You are beginning to realize nothing about your story was wasted. That heartbreak, it was preparation. That rejection, it was protection. That loneliness you hated so much, it was training you to hear a voice louder than fear. You thought you were being buried, but I was planting you deeper. Because shallow roots cannot survive the storms assigned to your destiny. And you were never meant to live fragile, easily shaken, easily replaced. No, you were being made unbreakable in the places no one could see. Do you feel it now? The shift inside your spirit. The quiet realization that everything that almost destroyed you was actually building something stronger inside you. You survived battles you were never supposed to talk about. You walked through fire with a trembling heart, but a stubborn faith. You kept believing when logic told you to quit. That is not weakness. That is destiny resilience being activated inside you. I was protecting you even when you felt alone. I was redirecting you even when you felt lost. I was closing doors you kept trying to open because I knew what was waiting behind them. There were dangers you never saw. People you trusted who carried hidden intentions. Opportunities that looked like blessings but would have drained your spirit dry. So I allowed distance, I allowed silence, I allowed discomfort. Not to break you, but to keep you alive for what is coming. Because listen closely, you are not just surviving, you are being activated. Something inside you is waking up. Confidence you didn't have before. Wisdom you didn't earn in classrooms. Authority you learned in battlefields of pain. Your story is becoming a testimony of survival, strength, and supernatural alignment. You will look back one day and understand that every tear was training, every disappointment was discipline, every delay was divine timing in disguise. And right now is the moment where purpose begins to rise louder than pain. You are stepping into a season where what tried to break you will now serve you, where what once confused you will now empower you, where your scars will become proof that you were never ordinary. Feel that stirring inside your spirit. That is destiny calling your name. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for something your past could never survive. But your future is already waiting for you to arrive. Chosen one, this is not where your story ends. You made it through what was meant to silence you. You survived what was meant to break you. And even in your weakest moments, I never left your side. I was in every prayer you whispered, in every tear you thought no one saw, in every night you wondered if you were forgotten. I was there, holding your future while you were fighting to survive your past. Stand up now, lift your head, breathe like someone who knows victory is already written over their life. What is coming next is greater than what tried to destroy you. Walk forward with courage, with peace, with unshakable faith. Because your destiny is still alive, still growing, still rising. You are not finished. You are chosen, and the world is about to see what happens when a chosen one refuses to quit.